Today I want to show you how to connect your MPC live to your Waldorf Blofeld using a 5-pin MIDI cable. Check it out. Alright, so obviously the first thing you want to do is turn on your units. I have the power plugged in already and I have audio out to my mixer already plugged in. Believe it or not, the process is very simple to do this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into an empty project. I'm going to use MIDI. Right here, I'm going to push the MIDI little icon here. And it automatically creates a MIDI program 1 on your first track. So from this point, you can connect your MIDI cable. So I'm going to use MIDI out A. From my MPC, so I'm going MIDI out A from my MPC to my MIDI in on my synthesizer. There's only one MIDI input on the synthesizer, so that's straightforward. On your MPC, there's going to be 2 MIDI outs, 2 MIDI ins, so just be mindful of which MIDI out you are using. Once that's connected, I make sure my MIDI port is set to MIDI out A, which it is right here. And from this point, I should be able to play the pads and hear sound from my synthesizer. Alright, so you have different options in the MIDI window here in your MIDI program section on your MPC. What I am interested in, Bank MSB. Now this Bank MSB will actually change your bank letters. So I have it on Bank A and it correlates to 0 here on my MPC. So if I go to Bank 1, it coordinates to Bank B here. And so on and so on. All the way to Bank H. So let me just leave it on Bank 0 for now. If I go to my program change, I can actually change the programs as well. So right now I'm on A001 on Bank A. And now if I change the program to 1, it brings me to A002 here. Program channel 0, it's actually A001 on your synthesizer. So let's hear what A001 sounds like. Okay, A002, 3, and so on. So the cool thing about the Waldorf Blofeld is that it is a multitimbral synthesizer. That means I can play multiple sounds from the synthesizer. And to do that, I need to go to Shift right here on the panel and click Sound Multi. And once I do that, it sends me into multi-mode. And now in multi-mode, I have the option to send 16 different parts out of my audio cables. Each one of those 16 parts correlates with the MIDI channels coming from the MPC. MIDI channel 1 correlates with part 1 on the Blofeld. MIDI channel 2 correlates with part 2. MIDI channel 3 correlates with part 3. Selecting the sounds in multi-mode is similar to selecting the sounds in the single sound mode. Basically, it's the same thing, except for the MIDI channel is different. So if I select program channel 0 on here, it is going to give me A001 on here. As long as I'm on channel 1, it will play that. So if I set up a track 2, and I set it to MIDI channel 2, then I can get different sounds that way. So therefore, channel 1 will be the first sound that I selected, and then channel 2 will be the second sound or part that I selected. So I find it easy to make track 1 correlate with MIDI channel 1 and track 2 on the MPC to correlate with MIDI channel 2 on the Blofeld. It keeps it in order that way. Alright, so with the MPC Live, you have the option of connecting a USB controller into your MPC. So I have a USB controller set up right here. So what I got to do next, take the USB cable, plug it into one of the USB slots in the back, and then I can use the keyboard to control the synthesizer. Very cool. So now I have multiple parts that I can play from the MPC. So in order to make a sequence out of these parts, I need to use multiple tracks on the MPC. So I'm going to leave track 1 as it is, go to track 2, and I'm going to add a MIDI program. So I switch to track 2, I have a MIDI program 2, and I'm using channel 2. So I'll go to track 1 to keep it simple, and I'll use program 0, which is actually the first program in here. So I'm just going to do a random simple sequence so you can see how this works. So you can see I played the keyboard and it recorded the sequence in the MPC, and I can hear that coming out of the synthesizer. So now I'll use track 2. And I'll pick a different program. So now I'm on track 2, MIDI program 2, and I want to overdub on top of that bass line. It's that simple. Another cool thing that you can do using this setup is actually control the parameters of the synthesizer through your MIDI controller. So in order to do that, you have to go to Waldorf's website and download the manual. Towards the end of the manual, you'll see all the different control changes and what they correlate to within the synthesizer. So there you have it. Now you know how to control your Blofeld with the MPC Live. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like and comment below. And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. My name is Matthew, and thanks for watching.